This week on The Upside, America is fighting for its children and winning. And radical teachers get a lesson they won't soon forget. The pushback against mandates takes some positive turns, and more patriots across the nation are saying what they really think about the 2020 election. Join me for all this and more on today's show. Welcome to The Upside with Man in America. I'm your host, Seth Holhouse. So for those of you who are joining me on YouTube and other social media, this is probably your first time watching The Upside. So this is a brand new show I'm producing for Rise TV, where I focus on the good things that are happening all around us. There's a few of them, trust me. Now, you know there are a lot of topics I can't talk about on here, like vaccines and the election. So I'll be covering those topics exclusively on Rise TV. I also do 2 more live shows, completely uncensored, on Rise TV every week. So grab your free trial to Rise TV by clicking the link below. All right, let's get started. So parents are revolting against mask mandates, critical race theory, and all kinds of indoctrination. And over the past week or so, at least 2 teachers have been fired for promoting radical ideas to our children. The first, an elementary school teacher from California, released a video mocking the American flag and suggesting students say the Pledge of Allegiance to the LGBTQ flag instead. Watch.
My room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around, he goes, oh, that one?
Within hours of the video being published, the school was bombarded with complaints. And the great news is that the teacher has already been fired. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not here to judge you for your own personal lifestyle choices. That's your business. Just like my private life and my relationship is my business. And that's what's key here. When we send our kids off to school, we're sending them there to learn, to read, write, do math, and get the foundational building blocks they need to live in the world. A paid government employee has no right and no business going behind parents' backs to push their own agendas and ideologies. And to do it in a way that also teaches students to disrespect their nation, the very nation that's given these teachers the freedom to pursue these ideas in the first place, is absolutely unacceptable. So bravo to the school and to the parents for taking action. Now, another California teacher was caught on camera over the past week promoting actual communism. This teacher told undercover journalists from Project Veritas that he had literally, quote, 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries, end quote, and that he gave bonus points to students who enlisted with Antifa and other activist groups. Check out this video.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
scare the fuck out of them? Yeah. And I've had students show up for protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that.
Once this video was released by Project Veritas, the school was flooded with complaints.
I have an issue. I am very articulate. My children are very well read. They speak their opinion. They make sure that they are clear in what they do and do not like. And for the fact that my 17-year-old daughter had to come to me and said, Mom, you don't understand. Let me explain. This means that in 2 weeks, in 13 days, he was allowed to change my daughter's mind about some fascist crap that y'all have let in this school. ridiculous. I'm from Texas. So this don't go on in Texas. This does not go on in Texas. There are 2 grades higher than California, period. So to think that my very sound-minded daughter would go against me and my wishes and our values in our home to be able to go and support this man and he is putting her in harm's way, what the hell are y'all doing? I'm tired. How long does it have to go on before somebody says something? How long? How long? What are you gonna do? That's the question. Get him out of here. We don't fucking care about this boy. He got to go.
And the district quickly apologized and announced they'd be taking steps to place the teacher on unpaid leave and fire the teacher. So what do both these cases show us? They show us that our voices really do matter and that we are making a difference. We all pay taxes to our schools, so we all have a say in this. So if you've been holding back because you think your voice won't be heard, now you know that it will, and it already is. And this is just the beginning. Now, as I showed in my last episode, it's not just parents and concerned family members who are standing up for our kids. Actually, some of the kids are doing a pretty good job of standing up for themselves. Watch this sophomore student at the high school where the commie teacher worked at speak out against socialism in front of the school board.
Socialism takes your health care first. They own your body. Second, they take your education. They own your mind. This needs change. We all need to rethink all of this, and it needs change. I was in a class, I'm Jewish, I was in a class, and there was a Free Palestine sign next to a Planned Parenthood sign, flags of the LGBTQ, and women's rights. Do you not see the irony, the contradiction that's being taught? They were telling us we must identify with history personally. I need to personally identify with Hitler to know what he did wrong? No!
Isn't it inspiring to see so much courage bursting forth all around us? And check out what happened in Douglas County, Colorado, after the health department issued a mask mandate for all school staff and students. Hundreds of parents showed up Monday morning, and students walked out of the school around 9:30 a.m. They lined both sides of the street in front of the district's offices and chanted things like freedom over fear, while cars passing by honked their horns in support. Parents and students are truly stepping up and taking back control of their schools and their lives. And the pushback across the nation and the world is getting stronger by the day. Starting September 16th, Florida will issue $5,000 fines to businesses, schools, and government agencies that require people to show proof of COVID vaccination, which is a huge step in the pushback against these Chinese-style mandates. And even though the legacy media has gone into full-blown damage control to smear DeSantis, I'm pretty sure we'll see the numbers soon speak for themselves. Floridians are getting on with their lives. And you know who else is getting on with his life? Joe Rogan, the most popular podcaster on Spotify, who came out last week announcing he'd had COVID and that he'd used a variety of treatments for it, including monoclonal antibodies and ivermectin. Watch.
Hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house. And throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked, but Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday, and today I feel good. I actually feel...
And boy, did the mainstream media explode after this video. Have you seen all the headlines about Rogan taking a horse dewormer? But any honest doctor will tell you that ivermectin has been used for decades safely for treating humans. So what are they hiding? And why are they only pushing back against the more simple, affordable drugs? But beyond that, what does it mean when someone like Joe Rogan promotes alternative COVID treatments? This guy gets hundreds of millions of views every month. How long can they keep forcing mandates and passports and acting like there's no cures when folks are seeing people like Joe Rogan, Trump, Governor Abbott, and even their own family and friends recover through these other treatments, even after getting the jab? We'll have to keep watching to see how the story unfolds. In the meantime, the pushback against mask mandates continues, with the South Carolina Supreme Court striking down the City of Columbia's mask requirements for students and staff in all daycares, elementary and middle schools in a 5-0 decision. The governor tweeted out, "The South Carolina Supreme Court has come to a sound conclusion based on the rule of law. A parent's right to decide what's best for their child is now definitively protected by state law." In Oregon, Governor Brown is being sued by police and firefighters over her vaccine mandate, and the school board has axed its superintendent after he enforced the state's mask mandate. According to the Salem Reporter, in an emotional farewell, Superintendent Kevin Purnell said, "Ultimately, I feel that I have lost my way, and it began to consume me." Now, this is interesting because throughout history, when nations have fallen to tyranny, otherwise good people have often been drawn in to become the perpetrators. But afterwards, as if awakening from a dream or more of a nightmare, they come to realize and regret the gravity of their actions. And this story makes me wonder if we're starting to see this kind of thing unfold in real time right now. Well, in Denmark, it certainly seems they're having second thoughts. Their own health minister has come out and basically ended the pandemic, saying that all COVID restrictions will be dropped as of September 10th. And the country will no longer consider it a socially critical disease. Sometimes it truly feels like the world is on a collision course, that the outcome is inevitable. But if people can truly wake up and return to their senses, no tyrant will ever be able to make us falter again. Now, speaking of tyrants, the backlash against our current administration is getting stronger by the day. And it's really not looking good for Biden, especially after Trump released a scathing video about the debacle in Afghanistan. Watch.
Afghanistan cannot be used as a terrorist base.
That Afghanistan has become a Disneyland for terrorists.
We plan for every contingency.
Total chaos.
It is heartbreaking. It is depressing. It's a failure, and he needs to own that failure.
Bear responsibility for all that's happened.
He did not admit any mistakes. He did not offer any change of course. He says we're going to continue forward.
He really isn't taking responsibility.
Mr. Biden, you did this. You made the deal with the Taliban. This is the consequences of it. Go to hell, Biden!
Tens of thousands of people being left behind.
There's American citizens left. We're going to stay till we get them all out.
We did not get everybody out.
Dozens and dozens of U.S. citizens went to the airport, and the gates never opened.
The mission hasn't failed yet.
If this isn't failure, what does failure look like exactly?
But there's to be.
So how about ISIS and the threat that Americans face now?
A recent PBS poll asked, which president do you believe is the most responsible for the U.S. shortcomings in Afghanistan? And despite the left's relentless efforts to pin the blame on Trump, only 12% of people believe that he was actually to blame, while 36% blamed it on George Bush and 21% blamed it on Biden. And meanwhile, a Central Florida diner went absolutely viral after it posted a sign on its door announcing, quote, "If you voted for and continue to support and stand behind the worthless, inept, and corrupt administration currently inhabiting the White House that is complicit in the death of our servicemen and women in Afghanistan, please take your business elsewhere." After the sign made headlines, the diner was so overwhelmed with guests, it ran out of food and was forced to close. The owner told the Daytona Beach News Journal, quote, "I've gotten so many people calling me from all over the world, from Europe, trying to purchase meals for veterans, which I still haven't been able to organize. I think that the veterans will be fed for the rest of the year at the rate I'm getting donations." Americans are truly becoming more and more emboldened with each passing day. Check out this incredible video of a man who stands up in a crowded cafe and asks, "Who voted for Biden?" And if there was anyone in the room who did, they wouldn't dare answer. My, haven't things changed since this time last year? Watch.
And who voted for him? Who voted for him? No, he doesn't. He doesn't get anyone to vote for him.
What'd she say?
We as American people should stand up right now and fight this. It's unbelievable. We've lost 11 Americans today.
That's right.
I'm a veteran. I went over in 2008 and I fought against Islamic terrorists.
Oh.
Wow.
Words can't describe my feelings.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Bring Trump back! Bring Trump back!
Trump is putting a smile on everyone's faces when he shows up in unexpected places, like Texas Hobby Lobbies. If you're not smiling after the last video, you will be after this one. Take a look. But if you want one more indicator of how the public really feels about who's in Washington, listen to the audience's reaction when a man races across a high school football field with a Trump won flag. Don't you love a little civil disobedience? And now, we're going to take a look at the mass protests around the world over this past week. Australian truck drivers, or truckies, as my Aussie wife calls them, decided enough is enough, and so they staged a nationwide protest with highway blockades popping up all across Australia. Watch this.
So I'm coming off Clothiers Creek Road, and the police have told me that there's a bad accident, but the funny thing is it's just trucks that's backed up and no cars. And these trucks are backed up for quite a while, all on the side. So it's truck after truck after truck after truck.
After the trucker protest, the South Australian government backflipped on its mandate, scoring a victory for the people. Good on you to my Aussie truckie mates. Even Fauci, the man himself, was also out on the streets proving that laughter is still the best medicine of all. Watch this.
Okay, who's not wearing a mask? Who's up for the rest of us? Please, sir, put on a mask. It'll hide your cold sore. Listen, people, I didn't live through polio, the Spanish flu, and 2 black plagues just to get COVID from you freaks. Do us a favor, wear a mask. Don't you want to live long enough to die from global warming? Hey, is that your boyfriend? No wonder you want to lose your sense of smell. I swear, the next person I see without a mask is getting hit with a handful of dimes. Hey, where's Waldo? Where's your mask?
Hey, screw you, man.
I want you to wear a mask, but I'll settle for a shirt. If I put the word juicy on it, would you wear a mask then? Come on, don't I remind you of the grandpa you'll probably get killed? Put on a mask, just to cover up those chins. Many of your heroes wear masks. Doctors, Batman, Leatherface, Michael Myers. Now tell your friend to put on a mask. I can smell his breath from here. Hey, Goofus, are you vaccinated?
Dr. Front,
do it. You'll finally be able to eat bats again. Remember, dummies, vape smoke does not...
And the pushback continues in France, where there have been mass protests 8 weekends in a row. Watch this crowd storm the shopping mall to push back against vaccine passports. And here are more protests in France. And now, let's take a journey throughout the world. First, we'll go to New York, where businesses are standing together to push back. And now to Brazil, where people are taking over the streets of the capital, peacefully protesting for freedom. And now to Greece, where medics are protesting mandatory jabs. And now to Italy, where protesters chant, "Italy, France, united in the fight." Patriots are truly waking up all around the world. And I believe we will only see more of it. Humanity is finally starting to remember who we are. And now, as always, I'm going to close out this episode with another heartwarming video of parents returning home from service and surprising their young children. Watch.
There it is! That's a big box! That's a big box for cookies. Can you get the wrapping paper off? Come over here. Come right here. Right here. Look.
Hello?
As a father, I can't imagine spending weeks, months, or even years away from my daughter. When my wife was in her early pregnancy, she traveled back to see family in Australia. This was right as COVID hit. And for a while, we considered having her wait out there. But at the very last moment, we said, hey, let's get you back to the United States. Literally 24 hours later, Australia shut down its borders and it's been locked down ever since. Thank God we made that decision, or else honestly, I may have never seen or held my baby girl. Every moment with our families, with our children is so precious. Honestly, we never know when we might be separated. These trying times truly remind us what matters. And even in the hardest of times, there's always an upside. You just have to look for it. Take care, and God bless.